Welcome to another episode, opening the flat, where we go over, just the aftermath of the Commanders. Commanders today pull it off and win, pull it off, travel up to New England, pull off the win, 20 to 17, big game, a lot on the line. It was just an all around big week. You had the two monster trades that happened. Um, a lot of people was talking about get rid of the coach, get rid of the defensive coordinator, um, try this, try that, try to play for draft picks, and all that sound good. All that sound good. I'm just glad that you know the players didn't listen to that. I'm glad the players didn't listen to it. I'm glad they came in today, played like that it meant something. Play that it meant something. The game means something. It was still 9 games to go, 8 games to go now. And they came out there, they played good. They played good. Um, you know, they look good. But before we get into all that, I want you guys to like and subscribe. We talk about give you a preview every week before the games, give you a little bit of aftermath after the game, give you my thoughts. What I saw was good, what I saw was bad. Who stepped up, who was a big letdown. So like and subscribe, opening the flat, and try to keep you guys updated what's going on as far as all the Commander news. But back to the game, it was a big win for the Commanders. Big win that they came out there, went up to New England, stepped up. Offense came out there. I thought the offense played pretty good, had a pretty good game. Sam Howell, who he just and then if you listen to some of the podcasts in the beginning of the year, I was kind of worried. I was worried about if he was struggling. He was struggling. He was taking on a lot of sacks. He wasn't. It seemed like he wasn't getting the ball out there on his reads like I would like we wanted him to do. And he was just taking a lot of sacks. But the last couple of weeks since they changed the two offensive linemen, one due to injury, and then the other guy Gates just was benched. Howe has played unbelievable. He's played unbelievable, lights out. And I was impressed today. I was impressed, and they moved the ball pretty good. I started high was 29 or 45 for 325 yards, one touchdown, one interception. Um, he got the ball. I believe he got the ball to all the wideouts. Everybody. You got McLaurin with 5 catches, Dotson with 4 catches, Pringle with 3, Gibson with 5. Dayami had 2. Logan Thomas got in the mix with 4. Crowder came off and had 4. And Robinson had 1 and Bates had 1. So they came out. He moved the ball around pretty well. Got the ball around to his playmakers, even though I want to see McLaurin and Dawson have a little bit more yards than what they had. But they still had big games, had some big catches. Dawson came in with that. He had that drop early in the first quarter, first half, somewhere around there. But he came back. He showed out on that seam route. Looked like it was a seam right down the middle of the field. Caught that touchdown. Um, they did good. They played good. I thought I wasn't worried in the game, only with that last drive. But I thought this was a game that they played and they had the game all the way through. It almost seemed like 20-17. It almost seemed like um they made a game out of it, but it wasn't really a game, and the score really doesn't reflect how the game played out. Well, I guess it reflects how the game played out, but it really didn't, based on the way the Commanders was moving the ball, based on the momentum they had. But the Commanders was constantly stabbing each other, stabbing themselves in the foot. You had that Brian Robinson fumble, set them up for a quick touchdown, New England, and that was disappointing. Then you turn around, the defense gave up that long run for 64 yards. That was another. So New England was down 10-0, but got right back in the game quick. And it shouldn't have been like that. It shouldn't have been like that because New England should have never been in the game because they never really was in the game to me. They hung around. The score say that yes, it was a close game, but if you watched it and you watched it where the Commanders played, it really wasn't that close. But they hung around. We scored 20 points. I always wanted them to score a little bit more, spread it out. Like I said before, Howell threw for 325. Robson had 18 carries, 63 yards, and then Gibson came in, and they utilized him, Gibson, a little bit more today, and I was kind of impressed by that. He had 6 attempts for 34 yards with 5 catches, 42 yards. So Gibson came in and played big. Impressive, had some nice runs, some nice pickups, some nice first downs when we needed them to. They played big, and I was impressed about that. I was impressed. But what I wasn't impressed about, and I also, let me say this, the offensive line play was good. You know, I don't want to get him an A. I probably would get him like a B plus. I think they gave up one sack last week, one sack this week. So honestly, they came in playing good since they made the switch. Whatever they did to relieve some of the pressure off of how they stepped in, and these guys are balling. These guys are balling. You know, they scoring points, and more importantly, not giving up the big sack. So I think how play was good. He had that one big mistake at the end of the first half. Of course, what everybody saw, he threw that interception. I don't think that was something that we need to worry about. That was just it was a bad bonehead play, but I want to give him benefit of the doubt to say, hey, he was trying to throw the ball away, and he threw it directly to the guy in the end zone. So it wasn't even like he was trying to throw it to a receiver or anything. He just threw it right to the New England guy. I don't know what he was looking at. I don't know if he got the players mixed up or whatever else. So he had that crucial interception. We won at 7 on that drive. We would have taken 3, but we ended up with 0. So that was the only real bonehead play that I think our offense had besides. And of course, you had a Brian Robinson fumble. That was critical too. But we bounced back. The offense bounced back. I would like to see them do a little bit more as far as on that last drive when we try to run the game out. I didn't like that third. I think it was 3rd and 6, and they throw a little go route or up there of the right hash mark or something, right sideline, and we underthrew or overthrew it, and that was crazy. I'm like, for one, you stop the clock. That's number one. Then you throw on 3rd on the drive where we could get a first down. You throw it up the sideline to a 1-on-1. Even though I like a 1-on-1 jump ball, but when the game on the line, I'd rather for him to of course to I don't want to necessarily say run the ball, but I like the high to see how take off, drop back and take off and see if he could try to get it or something, over the middle where we could hit him over the middle, get a big throw, get something maybe like 4-yard throw, and then let the wide receiver work for the other 2 or work for the other 3 or 4 yards. So that's something that you want to see your offense do. So I was kind of a little upset about that. Like we can have ended the game right there and just been like, you know what, that's it, that's game. But the enemy chose that play. I guess he saw wherever he saw it on the 1-on-1 coverage, and he threw a jump ball up there. Didn't like it, felt incomplete. Now we on our heels because now we gotta go out there and we gotta play defense. Gotta play defense that last drive of the game, and I was a little worried. So luckily our defense came in. our defense came in and we held them. Got that last interception, that last turnover after they done moved the ball up a little bit. Got the deflection. Our rookie Martin playing safety stepped stepped up big, stepped up big for the interception. But overall, I think our defense has played well. They played well with uh, our new front four, well with our new defense. You know, you had the Sweat and the Young trade a couple of days ago. Guys was worried about um, who was going to step in, who was going to play, who was going to create turnovers or sacks. Even though we wasn't really doing that beforehand with those guys, we was getting like sack here and there. It wasn't no one like coming in dominate and getting sacks, but I don't think anyone had a sack on our defense this week. No, we ain't got no sacks this week for our defense. But to me, it wasn't about sacks. It was about playing together as a unit, and they looked like they played together as a unit. Um, of course, that 64-yard run up the middle, and they talked about that on TV. It looked like the two linebackers was stunting on the inside on a blitz. Uh, Mayo over pursued, and then with Davis never got to the spot. He never crashed in the spot to cut that hole up to cover that gap, and the guy slid up in there, and then that's all it took. It was all for a foot race, and for some reason, we ain't got nobody on defense that's gonna get in a foot race with you and run you down. That's not gonna happen. But besides that one run, to me, I don't think they didn't even do anything. They were just out there playing. New England was just out there. We kept them in the game. We kept them in the game. They hung in there, and it shouldn't have been that close. Mac Jones was 24-44, 220 yards, one touchdown, one interception. And when I think about it, that 220 yards, a lot of those yards might have came on that last drive. Yeah, it might have come on last drive. Stevenson had 9 carries, 87 yards. Of course, 64 of those yards was breaking on that long run. Zeke Elliott, he had 6 carries, 17 yards. See, and that's what I'm saying. These guys didn't really do anything. Douglas had 5 catches, 55 yards. Smith Schuster had 6 for 51. Stevenson 4 for 42. Henry 4 for 39. Zeke had 3 for 15. Rager had 1 for 11, and Thorne had 1 for 7. So, I guess 24 total catches, 220 yards, but it don't seem like that. Like I said, our defense came in there. They played a good game. Wasn't surprised. I thought Hill, uh, Smith Williams, and some of our other guys that we had in there was going to come in there and they was going to play lights out. I thought that. I believe that. I thought they were, for some reason, even if they don't get the sacks, I knew just by watching those guys, I knew that they was going to play to, maybe they play at a different level for the defense, far as filling in the gap control, or never don't over pursue far as um, you trying to get your sacks, but allowing some of the other guys like Allen and Payne to try to get up in there and get the sacks. So sometimes in order to play as a unit, you gotta let other people shine. And Hill, Smith Williams, you had a other. I don't think Obata played. I don't remember seeing him, but I think they had a other guy who came in there, got that sack they call a personal foul on. So you got to come in there. You got to let those guys play. Let them play their position. Sometimes it's not always about sacks, but it's more about just playing your role. What is your role on the team? And being there, if it's stopping the run, if it's if it's getting into your gap, crushing the cloud and getting up in the gap, if it's beating the blocker to his spot. Sometimes you gotta play your role, play your position, and don't worry about everybody else. Don't worry about what the next man doing or trying to get your sacks. And sometimes I think that I don't want to say Sweat, but I say Young, you know, he was just worried about doing what he had to do for himself. You know, he still was good and I liked him, but I don't want to talk no more. You know, he gone. He played the 49ers, sweat with the Bears. I watched a little bit of Bears game too. I had it on my other screen playing. And I also watched a little bit on the Vikings game too. I try to catch all of them at the same time. But going back to us, so we played well. Defense played well. They gave up 17 points. That's what I expected. Um, I expect for us to be good, you know. But what we gonna do after this? We're 4-5. Um, another big game coming up. Seattle, Baltimore dogged the hell out of Seattle earlier today. They only put up 3 points. Baltimore, I think like 36-3, something like that. Baltimore dogged the hell out of them. But I say all that, and what did that mean? What did that mean for the Commanders, right? Baltimore beat them like that, you know? What did that mean for us? What did that mean for, get our season back to 500, 5-5? That's the question mark. Can we do that? Can we get the momentum off of this game by playing good D, solid D, and a good offense and carry it on the next week? And that's that's something that what we have to do to get better, to play better, to work together, and that's something that, we need to do, not just with Commanders, but all the whole DC sports, the Nats, the Wizards, the Capitals, all of us, every team in on the side. How can we get better week to week, night to night? They come off with victories, you know. So I gotta give, what's up to the Rangers. They won the World Series. One of my coworkers, a huge Rangers fan, grew up in Texas, huge Rangers fan. So he walking out, he walking around with his chest out, you know. I just finished watching the Cowboys, Eagles. That was a good game. Eagles edged that out big time. They Eagles always find a way to win. They edging them out, slowly edging them out. Right, every week they edge them out. They beat Dallas. I think it was 28-23. Dallas get all the way down there to about the 10-yard line. No time left. Dak take the sack. And then they play the last play of the game. They throw the ball up there, and that's it. CD caught it maybe at the 1 or the 2, the 3 or the 2 to 3-yard line. They smashed his ass, and that's it. The game over. And they don't. Their record. I think they like 5-3 now. They like 5-3, and the Eagles like 7-1, 8-1. So it's rough. The games are starting to get tighter. Teams are losing. Teams are falling, and it's starting to get tight. The playoff. You want, and I keep saying, I'm gonna keep saying it over and over. If you can stay around 500 around Thanksgiving, if you could be playing your best football around Thanksgiving and make a run for the stretch run in December, you could play around and get in the playoffs and play deep into the playoffs. These games matter. The games in the beginning, they matter too, but teams usually don't get their wings until it gets to November, middle of November, late November. Then you start to see, God damn, these motherfuckers are balling. They pick up something. It just seems like just a momentum come, and they just the weather get cold. People start to get injured. A lot of guys a lot of teams who say they good, they really not good. And that's what we got to figure out for us, far as the Commanders. Are we one of those teams who gonna be playing for a draft pick come December? We losing like a motherfucker. We getting the hell beat out of us every week. We getting the foot put up in our ass every week. Are we one of those teams that get the foot put up in our ass every week? Or do we come out there and we play ball every week? They played ball today. They played good, solid defense. New England kept the game close. The score played close, but the the game wasn't really that close far as watching it. The score, which all that matters, was close, but I felt as though they really handled that game. So that's what we come out at. Big games that happened this past Saturday, college football. Uh, Colorado lost again. They in a downward spiral. We knew that. People, who watch sports, you knew that it's going to take a year or two for Deion to get the players that he needs to make to change the program around, and that takes time. I see USC fired their defensive coordinator. They gave up, I think they gave up 52 points to Washington. And I was like, God damn, they gave up 52. They scored like 45. They gave up 52. I was like, God damn. Then they trying to run a fire to do the next day. So you got a lot of stuff going on, professional football and college football. Look at Dobbs for the Minnesota Vikings led them back. Threw a touchdown pass. Ending the game, took the lead. I was like, God damn, them motherfuckers. These guys are out here playing. They stretching out wins, coming up with wins. It is what it is. Then you got Miami. They lost to Kansas City 21-14. Are they for real? They was going on points in the beginning of the year, but they turn around now and they losing. Yeah, Cleveland blanked out Arizona, Houston. Stroud threw for like 470 yards, 4 touchdowns. Is Houston for real? They went to 5. They 4-4. They 500. New Orleans beat the Bears. Minnesota beat Atlanta with Heineke. Green Bay beat the Rams. Indianapolis beat Carolina. The Raiders, I had that game playing when the Cowboy game was playing. They beat the brakes off the Giants. That was sad. That was like a funeral watching that game. I was like, God damn. I started tearing up, got the tissues out. Said, God damn, this must be a funeral. They beat the hell out of the Giants. I don't know how we could have lost to them. They just fired their head coach. You got Tony, never coached a game in his life. He out there calling plays and shit straight off of motherfucker the old Sega Genesis, Joe Montana football. He calling plays. So I'm like, damn. And of course, Philly beat Dallas. Now I'm gonna have to go in here, go to work tomorrow, and get into a fight with a coworker because their team got their ass beat down. They crying. Damn. And look at the Giants. They talking about this could be a blessing for the Giants. Daniel Jones has initial field. He got torn ACL. Now, when you look at the Giants, you're like, damn, that might get their season momentum going. You hate to say that about a player, but he was playing terrible this year. He got the bag, showed out with the bag, and played terrible. So when you start getting down to this time of the year, November, December, man, these are the games where you have to play. Cincinnati and Buffalo games just kicked off. We're gonna see how Buffalo do, and the Bengals. Both of them been playing good. These are the big games. These are the games that you gotta play November, December, and I want to, like I always say, I want to see meaningful football play in December when it's cold outside and people out there. I want to see meaningful football, and that's what I like to watch. I want to see this Commanders playing and taking it. It's only one win. Bengals jumped up 7-0 over Buffalo. It's only one win. It's a big win. We'll take any win. We need any win. Any win. Offense play good. Defense play good. Special teams play good. And I just want to say, keep the momentum going to next week. That's all we could do. You guys like, subscribe, check me out. Talk about the Commanders, the Wizards. Nationals, Capitals, whatever. Watching the Wizards, I think they 1-3, 1-4. They begin to boot putting in their ass every game this year watching them. They need to turn it around. They need to do something. They ain't got enough playmakers. They ain't got enough scores on their team. But that's for another day. Commanders win 20-17. Like, subscribe, and I get back with you for the preview of the Seattle game this week. That's another big game, another must-win game we gotta win. So 20-17, we beat New England in New England. Seemed like a long time. So check you out next time, y'all. Peace.